After losing everything I own to the 2019 bushfires in Australia, I've rebuilt my life and plan on travelling to every continent with my Africa twin. Join me on this adventure as I rise from the ashes of my former life. If you happen to be new here, this channel is all about motorcycles, adventure, camping and touring. And today I'm in Sydney, and it's a continuation on from the last video where I explore up through the rocks. So stick around, have a look at some beautiful old buildings in the oldest part of Sydney City or Sydney Town. So I have always loved the area of the rocks. This is the original part of the city of Sydney, or the oldest part that's in existence today. And we're talking hotels 1844, and even older. You can see these beautiful old sandstone buildings up the road here. And there's a lot of really cool stuff. And it's a real juxtaposition between these beautiful old buildings and looking up at the modern skyscrapers in the background. But we're going to take a bit of a stroll through the rocks, check out some of these gorgeous old buildings here, and maybe, if we're lucky, learn a bit about the history of Sydney. I know that fairly recently On Her Bike was down here with the bike, the Norden, or whatever it is that she's riding around in Australia, and she had her bike somewhere down on the grass there, and ended up with probably the rangers coming over and telling her to go, but she managed to get some cool pictures on her Instagram. But so the rocks basically butts right up to Sydney Harbour and Circular Quay. And as you can see here, absolutely gorgeous buildings here. And as I say, they're all old industrial buildings that have now been turned into apartments and into hotels and all sorts of things. And it's truly been well done. Street markets. We're now standing under the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And I know what sort of a picture that fellow was trying to get there. They must have a swimming pool up there on the Hyatt Sydney's roof. Huh. So wandering on up into the rocks, you can kind of see why Sydney's up and coming class moved here in the early days and built their beautiful houses. Because it is such a pretty area and some gorgeous buildings here. Some gorgeous old places here, like this one here. Like, that's beautiful. Be worth a fortune now. Big, tall, shiny new building up there is was supposed to become the Sydney Crown Casino. So I love how there's still old-fashioned, old-school buildings like this with pubs in them and so on. Oh, look at the car. Nice. Yes, I do. Obviously, there's a wedding. How beautiful is that? Together. There's a Bentley. Beautiful cars. Don't make anything nice like that anymore. I do too. Gorgeous. Rolls Royce. So we're just coming up on the Garrison Church. The Garrison Church is a beautiful old church, and if the wedding's not actually happening in here, maybe we can get some footage of it. The Garrison Church is a heritage-listed active Anglican church. Located in Argyle Street in inner city Sydney, in the suburb of Millers Point, or the Rocks. And the first stage of it was actually designed by Henry Ginn, and Edmund Blackett designed the second stage, and it was built between 1840 through to 1846 by Edward Flood and George Patton. It is also known as the Holy Trinity Anglican Church and Hall, through to the Harbour Bridge. So while Sydney has changed a lot since the colony was first started, some parts of it have stayed very similar, like up here. So the Sydney Observatory is a heritage-listed meteorological station and astronomical observatory. And it's actually located on Observatory Hill, obviously. And that's in the suburb of Millers Point in Sydney, so up above the rocks. And it was built between 1857 and 1859. And as you can see, it's actually quite a popular spot for people to come. to do painting by the looks of that. Unfortunately, as seems to be the way with so many things at the moment, the observatory itself is closed. That's the museum there, which is a real shame. But it seems a lot of things closed at the beginning of COVID and just haven't reopened. But you know, that's the good thing about having a camera on a stick. Because you can just reach over stuff, can't you? So it's open 10 AM to 5 PM daily, but it's not open today. That looks like a lovely dinner party. Love it. Unfortunately, every single time I've come to Sydney and come here to Observatory Park, the observatory's been closed. And off over in the distance over here is the first cruise ship to come back to Sydney since COVID started and they shut down the cruise industry. And apparently, it spent a couple of days at the international docks over in Circular Quay, but in order to be refitted with everything it needs, like it spent a couple of days there for the press, and then it comes and sits over here for about 2 weeks while they restock it with everything, because these things haven't been moving for 2 years. So everything has to be cleaned, everything has to be restocked, things have to be fixed that have degraded in the 2 years it's been stationary. So it's over here being restocked for 2 weeks, and then I believe possibly tomorrow it's back in Circular Quay to load up with passengers and start the very first cruise leaving Sydney in 2 years. This is a beautiful building, isn't it? Again, the good thing about a camera on a stick. Don't have to worry about the fence. Just walk around with my camera on a stick. Now, I hope you guys appreciate the fact that I'm walking somewhere for you. Very rare for me to go off and walk somewhere. Most people never get to see over this fence unless they're inside, so pretty special for you. Hey folks, so unfortunately some of the footage that I took in Sydney was unusable and some of it was lost. So I'm going to cut this video here. I really hope you got something out of having a look around through the rocks, up under the Harbour Bridge, and some of the gorgeous, gorgeous old buildings that are here. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, smash that like button, give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, do consider subscribing, because I get out and do more and more of this stuff as I progress through Rise of the Phoenix Season 2. Until next time though, stay safe and get out and live your own adventure.